8 new fires in the province of British Columbia in the last 24 hours. That brings us up to 46 burning. That's 151 so far this year. 55 in the last 7 days. 1,461 total hectares burned. 105 fires extinguished so far in the 2025 fire season. I am the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel right here. Joey only up in the Caribou Mountains, 3,953 feet here at my seat of infinite knowledge to talk about BC weather this week. Well, conditions have turned down. We got 8 fires being held, 11 out of control, 27 under control right now. That's what's going on in the province. Weather has turned down a little bit, so we've seen a decrease in fire activity. We're going to keep seeing a decrease in fire activity for the next bunch of days, although not everywhere is benefiting the same in terms of like cool and wet weather. Some places are still fairly dry humidity-wise. Yeah, I get it. But all in all, no, we're not seeing temperatures pushing 25 to 30 degrees and large winds that are, driving wildfire behavior to be fairly excessive. But we'll look at what's been going on nonetheless anyways, and we'll look at where things are going this week. A little bit of rain coming to almost every part of the province. That's some good news. Okay, let's go.
There it is. This is bad news. My God. Falling out right now. Anything could happen. Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Hit like, share, subscribe. If you want to donate to the channel, that's what keeps bread on my plate and keeps me forecasting all the time, right? You can hit the thanks or become a channel member or join the Patreon. Okay. I don't know. My satellite images are sketch today, so I'm not sure what's going on with this. But it seems to me that when I looked at the larger picture, I've looked at a bunch of satellite images this morning. I didn't see a lot of smoke activity coming out of our, what to me seemed like the most active fire in BC, the one by Alexis Creek. We do have another small one that's kicked up by Doe River, which is actually where in 2023 we were fighting a wildfire right there. So there's that, but I mean, all in all, yeah, wildfire activity is reduced. And this is partly why right here. Zoom out, look at the big picture. You can see a lot of moisture in there. That's sort of an atmospheric river-like thing there, going from Hawaii all the way up into the Alaska Panhandle, more or less, right? So fire activity out by Doe River yesterday. This is out like really, really close to where we were fighting this fire back in 2023. There's the Kiskatinaw River. I always like that name, Kiskatinaw. And right there's the Alberta border, so a little bit of fire activity. It's obviously farm country there. It's a lot of fields and whatnot. If you watch those videos on my channel here, you'll find exactly that. We were working in farmers' fields. You got these sort of gullies that go along here. You got the Kiskatinaw River, which is quite steep down there. And, of course, you got the Peace River here, which is quite drop down as well. Okay, so that's the one act in the area that's worth talking about. I think there was some activity at the Fort St. John fire yesterday, but I've not been seeing any dots on Firm's map, but I've not been hearing people talk about it a whole lot. I hear evac orders were rescinded there, as well as Hickson. We could still see some get thrown back up, but it looks like reduced fire activity. The fires have responded fairly positively to the down weather, it seems like, although a little bit more activity on this guy out by Moberly Lake. That seems like a lot of activity there. I'm imagining that these sat shots were taken last night when the sun was off and things were cooler, so they're picking up these heat signatures. So most likely these are things that in the coming days will still have to be dealt with. Right, these probably aren't yesterday's signatures we're seeing, although this one does look the same as yesterday's signature on the map. C50222 out there just outside Alexis Creek and showed some growth yesterday. It's up to 730 hectares. I don't think it had a very active day of burning like it did on Friday. And again, we're not seeing much from our Hickson fire. The evac orders and alerts have been rescinded for there, but may go back up again. Here's a weird dot in the middle of nowhere out by Anderson Lake. That's on the wrong side of the lake there, so that's interesting. The roads are all on this side of Anderson Lake, of course, Seton Highline Road. That goes up over from Shalath and over to Terzaghi Dam. That's such awesome country. If you ever get a chance there to go take that drive from Lillooet, you go Bridge River up and over and out and around. You go like through this like You go through some of the craziest country that you see on a drive in BC. It's so beautiful in there. So love that. Love that area. A little bit of a spike there. I did see that there is some fire activity on Vancouver Island. We got a couple dots here that may or may not be related. That looks so like fire. You got two big dots there in the bush, not near buildings. So that's probably fires by River Jordan. All in all, fairly quiet in Vancouver Island. What's this guy out in the middle of nowhere too? That seems like kind of an unusual dot. Is likely a fire there. Likely at the Strathcona Buttle Lake. That's what it's called in Strathcona Park. Never been to Buttle Lake, but I've climbed mountains right near. You can guess that these ones kind of in the cities are probably from city-made heat. We know that these guys down in the States are actual wildfires here in the Colville National Forest area. I'm not getting a good, clear image, but there it is. We got a couple different fires down there that have been pretty active. This guy just south of Grand Forks has been very active this week as well. So been a little bit warmer down there in Washington and drier for longer. That's just some of the fire activity that we're seeing right now in the British Columbia interior. Fire over in Edmonton area yesterday. I don't have much on this, but there are some evac alerts and whatnot that were put out. So Fort Saskatchewan, one fire here. I'm not sure if it's the same one that the alerts were for. It was kind of ambiguous. It just said like Highway 205, and it's like, I don't know where that is. So, but yeah, wildfire activity in Alberta yesterday for sure. There was some of that. And I'm expecting as that heat is now really rooted in the prairies, we're probably going to start seeing some of these red dots here not just be from industrial activity, but actually be from wildfires. I'm not going to guess just looking at dots on a map. But some of these are suspicious, like this guy in the paw, that's suspicious. That looks like wildfire to me. Yeah, that's certainly wildfire. So wildfire near the paw, Manitoba. Is that going on? People can let me know if I'm wrong about this. Just looking at dots on the map. These are interesting signatures. I mean, BC, we're still seeing pretty high fire danger up in the piece, right? So it's not over for them. It's not over for them at all, right? So we got these fires around Fort St. John on Highway 97 there. Looks like the Doe River fire is now being held, so that's good news. That was not the case yesterday. We still got these 5 up in the northeast in the middle of nowhere. Probably no one's going to action at least 2 of these. Maybe this guy near Fort Nelson will get actioned. Maybe this guy near the highway. The Hickson fire is still listed as out of control, unfortunately. And then what do we have down here in the South Caribou? Our 2 of them are now under control, but our main fire there, C50222, still reporting. And what do we got for size today? C50222, high fire danger. Of course, 550 hectares. They have it listed here. I heard 730 yesterday. I'm just going to go with what BC Wildfire says because they're the bosses. 550 hectares is all they're saying so far today. The fire was on Friday. Saturday saw cooler temperatures. There's not really an update on here. Suppression actions are being taken. 4 helicopters supporting ground crews. Initial attack and unit crews are on site. Probably the crew from 100 Mile House for the initial unit crew. I would imagine. Maybe Blackwater crew, but I would think Blackwater crew would probably get sent to Hickson. So as of Saturday morning, 30% guarded already. Heavy equipment rains on. So they're going to make a lot of progress on this, I think, with this down weather right now. Well, let's look at the next week and try to draw some ideas. So it looks like everyone's going to take a little bit of rain almost. Well, not everybody. We got a couple of areas down in the south here that aren't looking too good. Once we're through, look all around Kelowna, Vernon, Penticton, the Kootenays, Cranbrook, you're not looking at seeing much. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to get any rain this week. The forecast is adding up and saying, well, in the long range forecast, everything is kind of looking like nose. And hey, not much better out in the Alexis Creek area. So you're not getting any help from nature on that fire, Alexis Creek, I'm sorry to say. 6 mils, you might as well call that nil, especially because it may or may not happen. You may get 6 mils somewhere else. You may have 20 mils 50 kilometers away and nothing there. You have to understand how these maps work and what they're trying to tell you. Even Vancouver Island not seeing a lot of rain the next bunch of days unless you're further north on the edge. Where is seeing heavier rainfall? Well, not too bad, I guess, this next week up in the North Coast Mountains. Not horrible in the Caribou. I mean, there's some coming here. Like even Wells, we're getting 11, 15. I mean, that might as well be trace, but got a band of rain they think is going to come through the Vanderhoof region, Prince George, west of, so 15 mils for that. It's not exceedingly high amounts of rain. The Peace, not looking like a lot of rain this week at all. Fort Nelson, you're in trouble. 2 mils, that's if that happens. So, I mean, here's some of the things we're looking at. Not too bad for Balkley, not too bad for Smithers area, up in the Amanika, not too bad, 12 mils. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something for you at least. But the good news is temperatures aren't going to be extreme this week either, so even if we don't have immaculate rainfall, we have down conditions at least. So here's the challenge though, those same areas, I mean, we don't have provincial drought monitoring still in effect, but southern Vancouver Island, according to Windy's assumptions, I guess probably how this works is there's a bunch of different data sets that are being fed into this one data set for drought intensity at the 100 centimeter mark. Those would be like rainfall averages and rainfall reality, so like what's the average you'd expect to see in southern Vancouver Island, what's been the reality for how long, what's been the heat and weather. I'm sure there's a bunch of things. They may have local data from the soil itself in some places, but I'm not guessing, so I'm guessing this is more inferred. But nonetheless, the inferred knowledge is pretty close to what we know is true, which is Mackenzie area looking more into the drought conditions than we expected right now. Fort St. John, yeah, we knew the Peace was bad. We knew up and down the Peace was bad. So the Rocky Mountains in the north, not looking good. Chilcotin, not looking good. Well, bump ahead a few days and see if anything changes much. Tuesday, Wednesday, everything's staying pretty much the same. And then you look down in southern BC, yeah, pretty dry in the Kelowna area, pretty dry all over southern BC, really. So as we're coming in this week. So like there's some rain coming, but it's not coming to the places we want. And that fire danger in Western Canada really reflects the temperatures right now. Today, pretty warm still in the prairies. Concerned about Alberta's fire danger for a little while longer. Could see some grass fires in the prairie. Not looking great up in the Peace. Pretty dry. These guys agree. Fire spread not looking great. And when I say we need so much rain, what I mean is 10, 15, 20 mils ain't enough. So that low pressure now moving through the prairies today, that will drop your temperatures down in behind. So a little bit of snow in the Rocky Mountains today, making its way on down. They could use that precip. More nasty weather temporarily through Churchill. Temperatures dropping down there. Snow up into the Northwest Territories, across RV and whatnot. Mostly, not much of a story here. In terms of weather today, just grim, just gloomy, just grim. Then we're going to be waiting, I think, mostly Monday for the next one. Long tail, this comma hook all the way down to Hawaii, right? So we're seeing developed mid-latitude cyclones, even if they're not, doing crazy things necessarily. Monday, 16s, 19 Kamloops, Kelowna. I mean, those are some temperatures that could help with burning. Fort St. John looking a little windier that day too. So heads up in the Peace for your fire behavior for, a little bit of windier conditions up through that northeastern section of BC. We're concerned about that. But yeah, temperatures all in all down on Monday, down on Tuesday. Head into Tuesday morning. It's 19 in Williams Lake, 19 Kelowna, 21 Kamloops. These are pretty nice temperatures. So we get a day or two of things being a little better. Could see temporary jumps in fire activity on Tuesday, sure, but it won't last too long because even if we hit 20s into the central Caribou, what comes next? Another round of precip, even if it's short-lived. The cloud cover helps. The humidity, the humidex values help. Those help suppress activity in the fires. So even if you're not taking direct rain, often this is helpful. Although, on the other hand, when these fronts move through, also the case is on Friday, they created a lot of wind, right? So speaking of wind, look at out in the prairie there. Wowzers, strong winds through Saskatchewan on Wednesday, 31K. When that happens, a little bit of thunderstorms up in Peace River on Wednesday. You lucky, lucky guys. Nothing so exciting as a thunderstorm in our forecast, although fire-wise, well, look it. Could see a little flashes on Wednesday. Could see, where'd it go? There it is. McAllister, Springhouse, right, Black Creek. Could we see a couple flashes in the Caribou? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Could see that on Wednesday. A little bit of battling between forces of cold and warm and dark and light and wet and dry going on. So yeah, down weather this week, right? Down weather this week. Look at this. Snowfall maybe for Grand Cache, Vale Mountain. It was snowing here yesterday, so that's not crazy. Maybe there's some freezing rain possibly into the Rocky Mountains temporarily into Thursday morning. Yeah, possible. This isn't awesome stuff. It's not like there's like a really clear storm moving through or pattern. It's just kind of dreary. A lot of dreary crap going on this week. A lot of dreary crap for all of us. Still staying pretty dry in the north, staying pretty dry in the south. We definitely had more exciting forecasts for you. This work week's nothing major going on. It's not the rainfall amounts that we need to deeply counteract how our fire season is starting off so far. Could see that still between now and the end of June. We could get a January. I'm on the fence about it, though. I'm starting to feel like, I got some conflicting ideas. So we are gonna get I'm gonna give you some more fire details as we get going here. More outlooks, more long range outlooks. Gonna give you my opinion more. Gonna do my best to keep you informed here in the channel. Hit like, share, subscribe. Keep coming on by. Nobody else in the British Columbia interior does what I do. No one else can give you this publicly, the kind of information I give you, right? The kind of knowledge I give you. So that's something I have here that, if you want to support it, I could really use the help sticking around and surviving. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.